should be going live right now. Hopefully, whoever joins can see me. Let's see. Let's test out if you can see me. Oh. Give me a second. Okay. Hopefully you can see me. Hi. Hi. Hello everyone. Just share live stream. Let's close that. And oh, I'm live here. Just missing one other stream. Too many streams at the same time. Okay. Hello. So here you go. Alright. Yeah. Seems like I'm live in all the places that I set up. You're American? No, I'm not American. I speak English, but I'm not American. uh, Alright. Well, today I'm going to be drawing this guy right here. He's supposed to be a green iguana, but yeah, it says on the pictures that on the description for the image that it just turned orange. So it was the coolest one I could find. So I decided to go with this one. Uh, yeah, let's see if I can. I also filmed this. If you see my social media, you can see the short videos I make for this stuff. So uh, hopefully you can hear me. I am from Algeria. Hi, thank you for being here. I'm from Venezuela. Uh, as you can see, I made this project a while back, and it's about my country and trying to speak about my culture and give my point of view about what I like about my country, and just to, yeah, I guess uh, I don't know how to translate this properly, but to put my little grain of sand to in favor of our country. Anyhow, yeah, okay. So I took the feedback from yesterday, and if you're looking at me on the vertical format, you saw that I changed a few things around because apparently the UI was messing up. Uh, it was covering my face and the reference, so I changed that. I also changed the camera so you could see what I was doing better because I'm right-handed, so I was covering the drawing before. So hopefully you can see me better now, and guess I'll get to it. I am from Mexico. Hi, nice to meet you. Hola. um, yeah, there's this one. There's 6 people. Yeah. Oh, there's some people that join. Um, okay. Well, I'm not gonna uh, stop anymore. Just check something here. Yeah, should be fine. Yeah. Sorry, I get a little bit nervous because I'm I'm really introverted. So getting used to this stuff uh, takes time. All right. Usually, I've mentioned before. Yesterday, I draw this anaconda, and I've been drawing all this stuff previously. Um, Usually, what I do to start is uh, like I try to frame the drawing first. So I've been using a pen and some highlighters, something like that, and markers. Come on. Yeah, a professor of mine just joined, and he's asking me about, he's telling me about the lines. No sé cómo me van a salir las líneas, pero I'm gonna try to do the best I can. Voy a intentar hacer lo mejor que pueda con las líneas. Esa es parte porque estoy usando el bolígrafo. That's part of why I'm using the pen. It helps with confidence in the drawing. But yeah, like there's some people, a lot of people watching me, and now like one of the people that actually taught me how to draw professionally is here. So uh, yeah, no pressure then. All right. So I try to frame the drawing first. Let's see if I can. First, I go lightly on the paper, just cleaning up the pen, and just try to keep the drawing center within the page as much as possible. Of course, there's gonna be some adjustments. I'm not. I'm doing an I'm doing an interpretation of the image as always. It's my own take on it. Uh, I've mentioned in multiple of my streams that um, you have to take in the reference, but if you're doing your own thing, then you just have to go beyond that and put your own take on it. So, alright. I think I'm messing up already, but anyway, it is what it is. So here I'm trying to draw the head. It looks kind of like a dragon, I would say. I really like the scales on the iguana. Okay. So something like that. Of course, it's not gonna be perfect. I mentioned that unless you're doing like a tattoo or something that is gonna be like you really want to be accurate in regards to how it looks in relationship to the image, then it like just do your own take. If you're doing a tattoo, I would, as I mentioned before, just just trace over it. So basically, I do kind of like a loose. Well, I don't know if you can call this loose, but a light drawing first. And I like the fact that you can play around with the pressure on the paper. So something like this. Yeah, I think I cut off part of the head there. Let's see if I can fix it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to try. Because this should be, if this is the eye, then this could move forward, backwards a little bit, rather. Okay, so something like that. If you see the head of the iguana, kind of looks like a triangle, the top part at least. So you can, I've mentioned this on my channel that you can draw from basic shapes and then uh, build upon it. Yeah, hopefully the pressure doesn't get to me that much, but yeah, I'm doing the best I can anyways. There's some out of focus parts there. Mm, okay. Try to get the eye right. Usually, and this is something to keep in mind, usually a good start is the eye. Um, if you get the eye right, then the rest can be, I guess, follow that success. And it also is a small boost of confidence because oh I got the eye right, which is a center of view. I'm telling you, I think I'm not getting the proportions exactly right, but I'm doing the best I can, all things considered. Where are you from? I'm from Venezuela. Who do you mean? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to call my my teacher out that that much, but yeah, unless he wants to 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 talk. Uh, Gobe sabe. I don't. I don't know Portuguese. Very little. Eu não falo português. Mhm. So okay. Right. The other thing, I guess I'm doing a little bit of a trick here as well because I'm not doing a portrait. Maybe after in another stream, I'll try to go for a portrait. If you're doing animals, if you if you don't get the likeness exactly, it's still gonna look like an iguana. But if you're doing a portrait and if does it doesn't look like the person, then yeah, you didn't do something right. Sí, son animales interesantes. Okay. Yeah. Well, at least on the video, looks fine. It's not perfect. And the other thing is, if you see, I'm using the pen that you can kind of get away if you go lightly on it at first. So you see, I have this line. I can cover it on or fix it later if I want to, or just leave it as it is. After you do the first pass on it, then you can go back and add on details. So this one's really cool that it has sort of like a horn. I've never seen one with a horn. Actually, I'm still curious if this one is a green iguana. Hopefully it is. uh, we actually had one as a pet, and it was really similar to this one, but they all once they develop, they they start to grow this sort of spikes, and depending on the one that you have. So the males turn into this. The females are smaller and they don't have all the flashy colors. This ones they're trying to look more menacing than their counterparts. En español, por favor. Well, I'm trying to stream to yeah a lot of people, so I most of my content I do in English, but if you ask a question, I'll happily answer. No problem. See, I didn't want to place this because actually the placing of the nostril, if you get it wrong, uh, it's kind of good enough. It can change the entire visual of the face. It's hard to explain. Yeah, I messed up here. You see that it has sort of a area like a prominent forehead. I kind of cut that out because I had to move back the eyes. Your drawing is amazing. Thank you, thank you. I try to do the best I can. The thing is that once you're doing this for as long as I've been doing this, which is most of my life, you get super picky about your own drawings. So because you're always trying to improve upon what you did before. Let's see, it has one line and comes another one. Yeah, I also think I messed up here because I didn't leave enough space. Eh, again, good enough. It's not meant to be an exact replica. Anyways, as I mentioned, we had one of these as a pet for a while, uh, and I have kind of a soft spot for reptiles because of that, and we also had at one point a chameleon, and yeah, and some turtles, which we eventually took like to a place. ¿Sabes qué dibujaría una iguana? Entonces, oh, sí. Nosotros teníamos una, creo que estaba diciendo, eh, pero no tengo fotos de esa iguana. I don't have pictures of the iguana we had. If I had, probably I would use those. Si las tuviera, probablemente usaría esa. Pero por ahora, nada. Referencias. By the way, if you wanna check out the reference or the place where I found this reference, you can go to Unsplash, which is a site that you can get uh, resources, images, and there. I'm not sponsored or anything. Like I'm just starting out with all this stuff. So, but you would definitely check them out. It's a free resource for the most part. They have a premium subscription that you can get. Yeah, the drawing with a pen is it's really cool. Yeah, it gives a lot of freedom. Da mucha libertad al dibujar con bolígrafo. Eh, I got used to this because when I was studying in high school, I I filled tons of and tons of uh, pages on my notebooks with drawings because what I wanted to do back then was to become a tattoo artist, and that's what I was doing uh, almost every day and trying to get the lines right. I actually started tattooing at some point. I just didn't pursue that as much. I guess because I'm too much of an introvert, and you have to be more of a people's person to pursue that. Maybe maybe not, but that's the feel I got because you have to make the appointments with the clients and so on and so forth. And I was like, yeah, that I'm not that great at that. So, and I also I pursue other stuff. I I studied 3D animation and visual effects and worked on that field for some time. And yeah, It's just the hours are too much. I was saying on yesterday's stream that there's some people here. I was saying on yesterday's stream that you don't need to draw each and every one of the scales. Actually, my teacher can attest to this. Um, you sort of want, sometimes you just want to suggest what you're looking at. You're just starting in section 6 of Duolingo. uh, yeah. Um, what I was saying is that sometimes you just want to suggest the scales to give the idea of what is there. Um, you don't need to do each and every scale unless you're doing like a technique, for example. Or, well, I guess, yeah, it applies also with tattooing. You can mess up a tattoo if you over detail it. You kind of want to suggest that there's detail, but you don't have to do every single detail. No tienes que hacer todos los detalles. A veces tienes es que como sugerir detalles de lo que estás haciendo. O sea, en este caso las escamas, no tienes que hacer cada escama, sino que puedes sugerir qué es lo que está pasando ahí y entonces si lo haces bien, eh, el cerebro completa el resto de la información que debería estar ahí. So if you do it right, and say the drawing is amazing and I have to go. See ya. Nice talking to you. I was saying that if you do it right, your brain completes the details that you're suggesting. You need to do each one. Like what I was taught is that, for example, if you're drawing teeth, I don't know if you've seen a drawing like a portrait where they try to draw each and every teeth. It's it looks creepy. It looks off-putting. Like you don't need to do each and every single teeth. It looks weird. So you kind of suggest the details, uh, and you're kind of balancing that out. You see, I messed up also here. This the paw should be farther, but I'm doing this live. Just a lot of people watching. Don't tell anyone. Okay. Something like that. Uh, Not perfect at all, but it is what it is. The other thing, if you ever want to try this out for yourself, is even though I tend to be a perfectionist, I had to work on just letting stuff go. Like you cannot get everything right. and the more you're able to let go of the perfection, like I have to get this perfect, it's easier to get better at something because you can move on to something new quicker and learn from your past mistake. All right. Something like that. Also, I don't know if it's noticeable through the mic, but if you're doing a line that you want to be precise with, you can play with your breathing. So that way, like sometimes if I'm doing a long line on the page, I will hold my breath. I don't even think about it, but I do it. So something to keep in mind. I don't know if any of what I'm saying might help someone, but if you're into this type of stuff about drawing and tips and tricks, might help you. Uh, Also, another thing that I am talking about, but not directly, is the fact that it's common among artists to have a little bit of imposter syndrome, which I definitely have had in the past. Like, maybe I'm just not good enough for this stuff, and that plays a role in what you're doing. So I've talked about this before. If you figure out a way, it has to be your own way of getting into a flow state in which your mind is not really thinking about what it's doing. It's just you're just flowing into whatever activity you're doing. Then you're probably also gonna be able to get better at it because you're not letting any of your own preconceptions, yeah, all your baggage is not messing up while you're doing whatever you're doing. This applies to sports. It applies to, I don't know, whatever skill that you need a lot of concentration or uh, ability. I don't know, it can be multiple things. I don't know, playing video games, for example. If you're out of focus, probably you're not gonna play as good as if you're really focused on the game. Playing basketball, which is a really cool activity. So yeah, I think I'm happy with the way this looks in regards to I would say the lines I did. So I'm just gonna go into shading because I'm trying to keep this as a sketch. Usually what I've been doing lately is just do a little bit of cross hatching. In Spanish is trama. Uh, just to add some details to the areas I want to add details to, and bring focus to it. Even though maybe I'll cover it with a marker later. See, there's another thing. If you look at the reference here, let's see, where am I looking at? I'm looking at like three different things. You look at like the paw here, the leg of the animal. You can see there's some separation in regards to the body. Here I messed up. This should be farther, like even farther than this, but I'm already eating up the space I was leaving around the drawing. So it depends on how fast you want to go, fast and loose you want to go with this. You can take forever and measure every single thing and double check, triple check that you did the thing. But that way you might not get better at this, because part of it is that you should be able to do it just from your mind. I'm doing this to make it more simple, from a reference. But I also, if you look at my social media, you can see that I also draw a lot from imagination, which is something that if you want to draw, I would definitely suggest do both. Like use a reference and draw from imagination as much as you can, so that way you develop that ability that they call it like your le vas a aplicar trama. Sí, I'd say not quite. No le voy a hacer trama. Lo que I'm gonna try to do something like this, so it would be partially a trama or cross shading, cross hatching, and markers, something like this. Sometimes I in this case I cover the cross hatching with markers. It depends on how much contrast I want. Depende del contraste que quiera. A veces le paso marcador encima al cross hatching, o a veces hago mezclas así, cross hatching y marcadores. Eh, this one it has a little bit of cross hatching and markers. It doesn't have as much because I didn't add color to it. So yeah, I hope that that helps or answers the question. I try to do sort of a pass to suggest the shadows first, and if I really need to or want to, I feel like the drawing needs to add more contrast, then I take the markers and add something on top of it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm messing up this part. You see, that it blends. It folds into itself, kinda. So this part is in shadow. Actually, another thing is if you are looking at the reference and you squint, you can sort of see where it needs to be darker. Like all this side is in shadows. So as such, you try to add that in to show on your sketch. So something like this. Right. I also like the fact that with just a pen you can do all this stuff. You can actually do hyperrealism. Very good. Gracias, gracias. Eh, you can actually do hyperrealism with with a pen. I just haven't like I'm just doing sketches. It's just to showcase what I do and try to get a something concrete by the end. But you can definitely, if you go online, you can see some awesome stuff done with just a pen. And I used to practice with this because I believe it's transferable to tattooing. Oh, sorry, I thought my dog needed to go to a bathroom. He's sleeping right beside me. Okay. Yeah. Also, another thing is that you try to balance out the parts that have detail with the ones that don't have detail. Like, what's your main focus? It's this area. As I mentioned, the eye is it's a focal point. So, depending on what you're doing, what you want is to add detail to the focal point, and you can play with the detail and distribution from it. Like if you move farther away, you don't need as much detail. You can suggest certain things, like what I'm doing right now. That you can see that the paw doesn't have much detail. I also don't want to get into it that much because it's time consuming. And let's see, yeah, I'm at 46 minutes already. So thank you for being here. If you've been watching the entire stream, also this is not on the well. Let's see if I can add a little bit of the detail that this thing has. Yeah, something like this. Hello. So let's see if I change the light condition. Just stop this right here. Just pow. And yeah. Alright. Now I'm going to go over it with the Sharpie, which if you have seen my other videos, you might know about this stuff. I always like the glowing paintings. Um, if you go to a nightclub, you can see it. Or I was talking about like if from my childhood, if you go to a laser tag place, you can also see this kind of stuff. It also uh, reminds me of like cyberpunk stuff. So this is my own take on this. Trying to add my own sauce or my own spices. I also like that you can get a different feel for what I am doing if you look at it under a different light. Also from a philosophical point of view. So actually, this was a kind of a happy accident. I've been using highlighters for a while on my sketches, but it was fairly recently that I was testing out uh, these lamps. Well, I bought one of those. How you call that? Light bulb. Yeah, I bought a light bulb that you can change the color on and allows you to play around with it. And by testing it out, because I thought, oh, I can use it for like backgrounds on my videos. I noticed that it would react with the highlighters. So these are just regular highlighters that you can find almost everywhere. Uh, I can only imagine what it would look if I use like uh, the like actual fluorescent painting. Even though I don't know if that's good for you. So what I'm doing now is my take on it and try I'm trying to use the information I have on the reference to add like to mix it with what I'm doing, if that makes any sense. What I mean by this, hopefully I can show you, is that you see on the reference that the top area of the head is uh, it's getting sunlight, as well as the rock here and the background. Even though it's blurred, you know that the light is coming to the drawing this way. So I'm trying to translate that into what I'm doing, which is my own interpretation of it. So yeah, that I was holding my breath there so I wouldn't mess it up as much. Maybe I could have left it as it was. Also, when you're doing this kind of thing, you if I was doing this for myself, this same monologue that I'm doing right now, you do for yourself. Oh, this you're making micro decisions while you're drawing. Oh, this looks wrong. This looks right. This should be here. This, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit OCD or something, but uh, in my mind, it makes sense. Someone would have that same monologue while figuring out uh, an art piece. You also have this sort of, you can see on the image, it's not that noticeable, but if you look closer, you can see it, that there's some spots where the light passes by and it hits, like for example here on the corner of the paw, you can see, of the leg of the animal, you can see that it catches a little bit of light. Also, like here, so it would do something like this. And another thing is that you can also make stuff up. Like, oh, I want a shadow here because I want this to pop more. Then you go ahead and just add it to it. It's your drawing. It's your own take on it. So feel free to do that if you want to. Um, if you want to get more technical, there's light coming this way, but there's also bouncing light that allows you to see the other side of the animal. Like the rock that this animal is on is casting light back onto the other side, so you can use that too. You just have to do it sparingly because you can sometimes. That's why I keep saying that I just don't want to mess it up. Uh, that's why, because you can overdo it. Yeah, something like that. Let's see, just so if you see, the most detail is around the eye, uh, and as it goes further, you lose a little bit of that. So the main focus is the face. So I'm gonna turn on the light again. Let's see if the camera doesn't. Uh, well, eh, looks fine. All right. I just also change the other light, and I'm going to finish it off with this guys. And this is where I just add the same with the Sharpie. I add my own spices. There's a part of it that is exaggeration. So you're trying to balance what you're looking at from the reference and making it your own and appealing. At least it looks cool to me, so that's the main thing. So I don't know if I like that. Anyway. Oh, there's quite some people here. uh, Thanks for all the people that joined and for watching this stream. Appreciate it. I don't know if I want to bring. So this is sort of like adding the, I would say, like graphics to it. It's more of a graphical uh, interpretation or something. I don't know how to translate that properly, but that's the idea. To find that balance and make it look as good as I can. I'm thinking of making a bunch of this into paintings, so hopefully I'll, I'll get to that. Finding your own style and voice in this sort of thing definitely takes time. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I would say like most recently is when some of the things I've done in the past have kind of clicked together. For me at least. Sometimes I ask people and they say, "Oh, you have your own style," but I didn't feel like that until recently. I think. All right. Mm, yeah. So I'm quite happy with how this is turning out. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign it, and probably gonna end the stream soon. So if you watch up to this point and saw the whole thing, thank you for being here, and thank you for paying attention to my work. I'm still working out on all the streaming aspects, so I hope if you're into this sort of thing that you find it helpful. Feel free to ask any questions if you want to, because this is gonna be on my socials. I'm not trying not to mention specific ones because, yeah, just in case the algorithms decide to not show my stuff. So you can definitely find the entire stream. I'm gonna leave it recorded so you can check out the stream later. And I'll be here next week, Monday to Friday, around the same time as as right now, Argentina time, like 8 to 9 p.m. Somewhere around that, for around an hour. So if you wanna check out the next stream, um, thank you. And if you decide to subscribe, that helps. If you wanna check out any of the stuff I do, you're welcome to. I appreciate you being here. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to stop streaming now. Hopefully, I can uh, end all at once or fast. Well, thank you. Bye.